Hey, you guys, it's Tanisha B from The Nocturnal. Pele Fest 2019 might be winding down, but not before the cast of the Netflix series premiere, The Kominsky Method, makes their debut. So no need to worry if you haven't seen the season. I got some behind-the-scenes action and some insider secrets. So let's go to the videotape. So we've got Mindy Kominsky. Is she still living in Dad's shadow this season, or is she breaking out? Is she gonna be in love? Like, what's going on? Can we get a little bit?
I can give you a little bit. At the end of the first season, he kind of turned over the reins to his studio, to her. So that was a big thing for her to now coming to the second season. It's like she runs the place. It's like her place now. So I think that's really good for her, to feel like, okay, I've been doing all this work, but it's for something. And then, she has this love interest that she's in Paul Reiser that she's super nervous to introduce. I mean, you find out that she's been with the guy for a year, and she's just now, getting around to telling her dad because she's been a little nervous about it. So it's pretty fun because he balks at first because he's closer to his age than to mine. But then the two of them kind of become friends, and I'm the one that's like, wait a second, what is happening here? Our show is, we really get room to play in these scenes. I mean, I have a scene with Michael in the second season that's like, it's a long extended scene and it's great. That's all right. No, you're fine. Jane Seymour. You just made my video. You didn't wreck it.
Newcomer to the show.
I am.
Okay.
So this first season went very well. So if this season tanks, my fault, right? That's how you can tell it. It was doing very well without me, and my job is to not just bring the thing to a grinding halt.
So what made you want to audition or get yourself into the Kominsky Method?
Well, what happened is, I watched the first season and I loved it, and the creator, Chuck Lorre, is an old friend of mine, and I called him just to tell him how great it was, and I jokingly said, well, let's you and me do a show like that. He said, well, let's have lunch. And then next thing you know, he had an idea for a role for this season, so it was a fortuitous phone call. So sometimes it helps to know the right people.
Okay, so I read that you're going to be playing a teacher in the new season. Is that correct?
I play a retired teacher, but my job is really to make Michael Douglas very uncomfortable. I'm the older guy who's dating his young daughter, and he doesn't sit well with that initially. But then as time goes on, I wear him down.
So what else is to come for the new season? What else do you guys have in store for you? Even though you're Norman's girlfriend, but what else is in store for you?
We get to see what happens in that relationship because it's not easy. There's a lot of baggage there. So, how do we deal with the baggage? And can we? And, it's on again, off again. I don't want to give it away, but I think Madeline is fun because she pushes him. And she's tough on him. And he's used to being, the tough one, the one that's in charge. But no, Madeline's just got him tied around her little finger.
We also saw that the character dealt with the possibility of prostate cancer.
Right.
And we know that in your real life, you dealt with your own bouts of cancer.
Right.
So how did you use your real life situation to manifest that into portraying your character, since you basically lived it?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I'd probably took it effortlessly, if I could say that. I mean, I knew what happens, and when you prepared for things might not be right, there's no big reaction because it's just sort of an acknowledgement. But in the show, we don't know. I'm just getting preliminary tests and everything else. There may be something going on, as opposed to actually having to go into treatment. But that's one of the many similarities that that exist with a person like my age dealing with medical issues.
So you and Norman are best friends in the show.
Right.
And you guys are on the other side of, your older years in life.
All right, you do say.
On the show. What shenanigans are you two getting into this season? Like, what sneak peeks can you give us? Well, can you give our viewers? What's something that you can lead us on into?
Well, I've got to kind of advise him. I've got to advise him a little bit. He's he's got a girlfriend. After being married for 50 years or something like that, he's run into one of his old girlfriends, Jane Seymour. So I have to advise him with that a little bit. But I think actually it's the other way around this season, whereas last season I was helping Alan out a lot with his issues and grieving for the loss of his wife. This season I think he's helping me out with some of my medical issues. So it's working out good. Everybody who's seen this season seems happy with it and likes it even better than the first. So who knows? We'll see.